I found Val McDermid. I often bump into you at festivals. Do you mind coming out and singing for your supper?
No, I think it's nice to get away from the computer screen and see people, real people, as opposed to the ones in my head. It's nice to hear real voices instead of the ones I make up.
Yeah, the ones in your head are always having a bad time, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're usually shouting at each other quite a lot, so being amongst readers is always a good thing for me.
The Vanishing Point, in the blurb it says, every parent's worst nightmare involves a small child. What set you going on that one?
Well, what set me going on that one is, as it so often is a little incident that happens. I was travelling in America with my son, who was much younger then than he is now, and I have knee replacements, so I always set off the metal detectors. And some airports, they put you in a kind of perspex enclosure while they wait for somebody to come and pat you down and warn you to make sure you're not a mad terrorist. But they don't let you take your kid in with you. So I'm standing here inside this perspex box, and my boy is standing over by the belt where the X-ray screen bags come through. And because I have a nasty, devious, twisted mind, I'm standing there thinking, what would happen if somebody just took his hand and walked away with him now? But of course, the security in an airport is very unidirectional. It's targeted at what they perceive as threat and not targeted at any other crime that might be going on in the background. So that was the jumping off point for the book. I thought, a child kidnapped in an airport. How good is that for a starting point?
That's going to be a good movie.
Yes. Well, it would be nice if it was, but so far nobody's sniffing at it.
Oh, there's time, there's time. When you go to parents' evening and when your lad brings people home, does he explain what you do?
I don't think he does, because I think for him it's just taken for granted. That's what his mum does. When your kids are growing up, whatever is going on in their environment is, in their eyes, normal. That's how it is, because that's the way the world works for them. They don't have anything to set it against. So when he was quite young, when he was about 3, he was out with one of his friends and friend's mum, and they went into a bookshop, and he turned to his friend and said conversationally, "Where are your mum's books?" So he thought that's what mums did. They wrote books, and they were in the bookshop.
You've done a kid's book now about a pirate.
Yeah.
What's the genesis of that one?
Well, it's called My Granny is a Pirate, and it started off as something I made up for my boy when he was little. And I made this up to amuse him as a bedtime story. A few years ago, there was this big thing of all sorts of people writing kids' books, and my publisher kept going on, "You must have a kids' book in you." And I kept saying, "Well, no, I think they're actually much more difficult to do than people imagine." And I sent her this thing that I just really thought was just a piece of doggerel. And she said, "Oh, no, we love this, darling. We want to do this. We want to find a nice illustrator." So we got this fantastic illustrator, Arthur Robbins, who's done these wonderful drawings to go with it. And My Granny is a Pirate has been surprisingly successful.
Now, what you do, it's global. You say that you're on a book tour in America. And are you popular everywhere? I mean, do you go down well, say, in the Middle East? Will I find you a literary festival in Dubai and Doha? Have they joined you?
You probably won't find me in a literary festival in Dubai on account of me being a lesbian.
Right.
That tends to militate against some of these festivals. But yeah, I would say pretty much my books are a pretty much global phenomenon. We're translated into, all sorts of languages now, including Chinese. I love the name of my Chinese publishers, Elegant People of Shanghai. Is that a great title for a publishing house? And yeah, they seem to be all over Russia, Europe, South America.
So what's it like to be a global phenomenon?
I don't ever think of myself as a global phenomenon, really. I just think of myself as somebody sitting in their room trying to write the best book they can write. I think if you start looking beyond the bounds of that, then that way madness lies. You're constantly thinking about your image or how people perceive you. I think you're not actually focusing on what you should be doing, which is writing the next book.
You could be a phenomenon in Chipping Norton.
I can barely be a phenomenon in my own living room most days.
Good to see you.